Another day, another video. Welcome back to the channel, everybody. Today we're watching The Last of Us. This episode 4 of the first season. Hopefully you guys have been enjoying it so far, and if you'd like to watch today's full episode, it is available for free in the link in the description below. Just click on it, put the password in, and enjoy. So speaking about last episode, it was very interesting. I personally liked it. I thought it was pretty decent, but I did acknowledge that it was filler. You know what I mean? Like, pretty much it only progressed the Joel and Ellie storyline by obviously giving them a vehicle at the end of the episode so that they could progress on their way to Tommy, / obviously take Ellie to the hospital. Now, the whole episode was pretty much about two different people, and they both died. Do you know what I mean? No beat around the bush. We've watched the episode. Like, moving forward, they're not going to be in the show anymore. It was two guys after, you know, the first infection started happening, or the wild spread. You know, one guy was living on his own in a suburban city, caged off everywhere. Do you know what I mean? He's a survivalist, and another dude turned up, fell into like one of his little traps, give him some food. You know, after being on his own for 4 years, he kind of enjoyed the company. They ended up getting together, and then we had a big progression of their life, which I thought was really good. It was sad, played it out really well. It was slow. Do you know what I mean? Like, it wasn't rushed, and the storytelling was fantastic. And at the end of the episode, I was feeling really sad and upset for them. Do you know what I mean? Both of them went out together, you know, dying of old age. One was like, I don't want to be a burden on you anymore. You know, crush these tablets up, I'll drink it, we'll go to bed, I'll fall asleep, and that'll be me done. Well, do you know what I mean? It's like a little suicide pact. He done it as well. He took it, and obviously, you know, both of them went together. So I thought their story was great. The progression of it, seeing how people lived and survived, you know what I mean? Growing their own crops, venturing out and finding new people, which was Tess and Joel using on the, you know, on the talkies, you know, putting a bit of trust in people. We seen them defending themselves when obviously like, other people was trying to, you know, scavenge and stuff like that. And, you know, I thought it was really, really good. But, like I said, it was filler. It was just so Joel and Ellie could get this car so that they can move on, which is fine. But, you know, going on social media after it, mate, it was getting a lot of hate. You know, I'll let you decide why that was getting hate, but that's kind of like the society that we live in today, isn't it? But the interesting thing is, you know, if you go on IMDb, which I use over like Rotten Tomatoes, I personally think it's much better. I really like it, to be honest. It's got a great phone app, in my personal opinion. On there, you know, the first two episodes had like 70,000 votes on there, getting about 9.2 rating, and this one got a 7.9 with like 150,000 votes. So you can see how many more people was interested in this episode. And to be honest, you know, the viewership is consistently rising. So whether it's a good or bad thing, people are still being drawn into it for the right or wrong reasons, whatever you want to decide. And I'm excited, obviously, to see today's episode. I want to get back in the clickers, back in the action, back in the fighting, the journey to Tommy, the journey to the hospital. Do you know what I mean? It's going to be Joel and Ellie, I'm hoping anyway, pretty much just them two rocking and rolling today's episode. And we'll just see where it goes, mate. So like I say, if you do enjoy it, please smash a like, really helps out. Subscribe if you're new. And as always, let's jump into today's episode. Oh, she stole that gun last episode, didn't it? Joel don't know. Love Joel to come in and she fumbles it, drops it all over.
We have to do this every hour?
Gas breaks down over time.
Nice. How does that work?
Sure.
You don't know.
I know it works. No wandering.
Volume 2 by Will Livingston. Volume 2. Look, you get it? 2? Like T-O-O? What did the mermaid wear to her math class? An algebra.
Feel free to wait in the truck.
Okay, but just know, you can't escape Will Livingston.
I'm glad that they acknowledge, though, that they're going to have to start, you know, siphoning petrol out of cars.
It's, light on the reading, but it has some interesting pictures.
No. That's not for kids.
Why are all these pages stuck together? I'm just fucking with you.
Yo, she's pretty funny here, man. Imagine just driving around and seeing all of that, like boats capsized and like just towns all just destroy.
Alright, that's enough for today.
Do you reckon you have to be wary of people around here? Well, not just around here in general. Like, or reckon you think that everything's just dead and nobody's around?
What am I even eating?
That is 20-year-old Chef Boyardee ravioli.
That guy was good.
I actually agree.
You start a fire? I'm freezing.
Now why am I going to tell you no?
Because infected will see the smoke.
No, fungus isn't that smart. This is too remote for infected anyway.
People? Actually smells kind of good.
Well, that would be Frank's then.
I sleep in the back of the truck, me there, on the tail.
Joe! Why did the Scarecrow get an award?
Because he was outstanding in his field.
Dick!
No.
That's a pretty good one.
The There's no way anyone knows we're here, right?
See the car marks in the grass? I thought it was someone there, mate. Honestly, I thought it was someone. Do you reckon he waited for her to sleep and then obviously he got up and he was protecting them? Do you know what I mean? Like, but my question was before in it when he was driving through, do you reckon that they have to be wary of like other people, not just obviously the infected? Because, you know, you see it in The Walking Dead pretty much. When the world goes tits up, it's like every person for themselves, and like you see your little cliques. You know, you could have 10 people and somebody else could have 10 people. And when you see each other, instead of it being, whoa, there's humans, more humans alive, like, bloody hell, it's like, mate, kill them. Kill them, mate. They're going to come after us. Do you know what I mean? It's like, it's literally the dog-eat-dog world. If you're not going to kill them, they're going to kill us, so we'll do it. And do you know what I'm saying? So, like, now it's been dropped in and mentioned, I want them to bounce and find some people, and I want them to get attacked to do. I'm all for action. I love slow storytelling, I love information building, and I love progression. But I also do love a bit of action here and there, because why? Who doesn't? More action, the better. Storytelling is great, but so is fighting, so is clickers, so is running, so is chaos and panic. So that's what I want to see as well. A bit more of that. But I do like how that joke that she just said there, mate. Why did the Scarecrow win an award? Because he was outstanding in his field. That's pretty decent.
Oh, what the fuck is that?
You don't like coffee?
Seriously what those Starbucks in the QZ used to sell?
Well, theirs was a lot fresher than what Bill's taped up, but yeah, this is what they sold.
Yo, I remember I had a teacher, right? His breath was so coffee smelling, and I absolutely love coffee now.
Contact came through a radio tower close to Cody.
Cody? Ah, man, that is deep up in there.
Yeah.
And if he's not there?
And odds are he'll be near a settlement.
What's his name?
Tommy.
Why isn't he with you?
Long story.
Is it longer than 25 hours? Because I think that's what we got.
So he enlists in the army right out of high school. A few months later, they ship him off to Desert Storm. 12 years later, outbreak happens. He convinces me to join a group making their way up to Boston. It's where we met Tess. And that whole crew, well, for what it was, it worked. Of course, last I heard, he quit the Fireflies, too. So now he's on his own out there, and I gotta go get him. Keep going for family. That's about it.
I'm not family.
Your cargo.
Tight roads now, innit? I'm just waiting for the point where she pulls her gun out to like kind of save him. Do you know what I mean? She's gonna have to shoot it at one point. Would you go on the grass up and round?
Screw it. You can jog right around this tunnel. Take the next ramp, and we're back on the road minute tops. Where the fuck is the highway?
I can't tell from this. I'm all turned around.
Well, don't look at the state map. Look at the inside.
It's my second day in a fucking car, man. Where the fuck is Fedra?
Oh, it's bait.
Put your seatbelt on.
Oh. Tires are gone. See how fast it can just change like that? One human sees another and it's a standoff.
When I say go, you crawl to that wall and you squeeze through and you don't come out until I say. They're not gonna hit you. Look at me. I'm not gonna hit you. Go!
Oh, he's got one. She could just pop him right there. Don't know what to do. I picked the guy's gun up off the floor. Then you can see if you use that one.
No, it's okay. It's okay. It's over. We're not fighting anymore.
He is pretty young, to be fair.
We can be friends. I didn't know. I'm Brian.
Hey, he's seen the gun.
Wait. You can have it.
Oh, would you kill him or not? I don't know, man. It's savage.
Behind the wall.
No. We can just stop.
It's mad, innit? He was young then, and he did look like he was shitting himself.
I got some food in here still, and I got your light.
You go up.
Let's get a better look.
Hopefully we spot a clear route out.
Mark Anthony Halpin, Carrie Schreiber, Henry Burrell. You know where Henry is. I wonder if this is the cell where my brother was beaten to death.
It has to stop.
It has to stop now, you mean? Now that you're in the cell. Have I satisfied the necessary conditions for you to talk?
I never told them anything about your brother.
But Henry did. And we know that he's still in the city. You think I won't do it?
I'm your doctor.
Guy's too confident, man. He needs to get shot somewhere anyway.
It's not a Fedra vehicle, but they were heavily supplied.
Well, if Henry has a radio, maybe he called these guys in. Will he live?
Will he live?
What if I had a doctor?
I'm sorry.
Oh, she's just gonna kill him now. She feels like this Henry's the one that's actually passing information across, and she's like, that's it, mate, you're done.
Find every collaborator and kill them all.
Mate, Rose from 2.5 Men. OG, mate. Have you, like, if you've not watched it, it's a good show with Charlie Sheen in it, mate. It is good. But that was interesting because obviously she's thinking that this is Henry's doing. He might have got radio called in, you know, Mercs, that's what they said, back up, they've come, or obviously it's just Joel and Ellie. They was on the merry way, just trying to go to Wyoming, weren't they? Now the interesting thing is, like, I'm fine that she just killed that doctor, shot him, whatever. The guy was too confident. But she should have gone in and shot him, but kept him alive, like, bang, hit him in his, like, arm or something. What? I'm not afraid to shoot you. Bang, hit him in his leg. Yeah, what? Bang. Now I'm gonna kill you. And then just walk over and bang again. Do you know what I mean? Like, I would have been ruthless like that. Now, Joel, that kid that he was crying, that's a tough one. It is a tough one because obviously he was young, and at the end of the day, what are you going to do in it? You know what I mean? Like, if you're walking around and then a couple of your friends get in a battle and, you know, they get beaten up, yeah, you're going to jump in and try and help them. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, so I can't blame him for doing that, but, like, when he was defenseless after he's been shot and he's bleeding out and he was kind of crying for his mum, wasn't he? And he is young. I probably would have just left him. But, again, though, on the flip side of it, if you leave him and he crawls back and he tells him that you're there, then you're kind of screwed. But at the end of the day, found his body like 5 minutes after anyway, didn't they? So they know somebody's there. It's not really as if it made, like, any difference. Right, they're on high alert now, look at that.
They're not Fedra and they're not Fireflies, so who are they?
People.
Are we okay in here?
For a little bit, maybe.
There's a really tall building like 4 blocks away.
Yeah, saw it.
So that's the one?
As soon as we don't hear a truck, we move. Are you all right? Thing is I didn't hear that guy coming. You shouldn't have had to. You shouldn't know what it means. It's not like you killed him. Shooting. I know what it's like. First time that you hurt. I'm not good at this.
Yeah, you really aren't.
I mean, it was my fault.
I wouldn't say it was Joel's fault though, was it, man? They just all got ambushed.
Finger off the trigger.
You know, she did like shooting him before, but she's loving holding it.
Figures. Left hand squeezes down on the right. You put it in your pack.
No sign of them. You?
Yeah.
This isn't Joel and Ellie, is it?
They're out of food. Henry won't let Sam starve.
This is Henry and Sam, then. Not Joel and Ellie. That... Oh. What's that? Oh, what was one of them big massive ones?
Let's just handle what we have to handle. We can deal with this after.
You used to have these big massive gassy ones, didn't they? I can't remember the name of them.
Where'd you be without me, huh?
We'll make our way up. Come morning, I'll take a look at the city and find our way out.
We're going on 42 flights.
45. No.
Yo, those legs are going to be killing me.
All the way. As far as I can make it.
I've done 24 stories before, and I was a bit tired, though. The legs were killing.
Hey, you know that guy who said he was hurt? How did you know it was an ambush?
I've been on both sides.
Did you kill innocent people?
Would you class them as innocent just a minute ago or not?
Come on,
Give me a minute.
get up, you lazy ass. Joe,
What?
what are you doing?
Is he coming?
Someone's sneaking up on us while we're sleeping. When we were talking about hurting people, what did you mean it wasn't your first time?
I don't want to talk about it.
It isn't fair, having to deal with all of this.
So it gets easier when you get older.
With experience.
The reason I asked whether you'd hear the glass or not is because I've noticed you don't hear too well from your right side. Did you know diarrhea is hereditary?
What?
It runs in your genes.
That is so goddamn stupid.
You laughed, motherfucker.
I didn't laugh.
Yes, you did.
They're just corny. That's what they are. They are corny.
Time. Joel.
Oh. 2 kids. Well, that was an interesting ending to the episode, wasn't it? That was actually pretty good, actually. Have they snuck in? Where have they come from? And like, I thought they was all going to be part of Fedra, but I don't think they are. Do you know what I mean? Like, because she asked, are they Fedra? And I think he said no, they're just normal people, like. So, I mean, that was an interesting one. You could see that relationship building all episode, which I thought was fun. You know, it was really, really good, actually. And you could see them growing. Do you know what I mean? Like I always say, mate, that's one of them things, when you get to the very end, you don't want to let it go. It's like, you know, you built that connection so far, you can't just wave goodbye. Do you know what I'm saying? But I also read a quote from him in real life, and he said something like, "In it crazy how something so amazing can come so late in my lifetime and can come so early in yours." And that was in terms of this role, and I thought, do you know what, that's really deep, that. Do you know what I mean? I really like that saying. They both seem like really decent people as well, and like pretty humble as well to be in the position that they're currently in. Now, again, you know, I do wish that we have more. My only negative is that we don't have enough of the infected, to be honest. You know, we don't really utilise them massively. And now I understand you can't put them in every episode, and you can't, you know, have them being chased, because it'd just be the same rinse and repeat all the time. But, you know, if you go to The Walking Dead, for example, you do see them in the universe roaming around and in the way. Do you know what I mean? Like, we just seen them move. I don't know how far they've gone, but they've gone from one big location to another, and they're consistently doing stops as well. Do you know what I mean? He's extracting the fuel from the cars, they're going into places, they're checking it out, and they have no interruptions. Even walking around this city here, yeah, I understand that it's under their control, but they've been in so many places, even the bridge. You know, the bridge is blocked off, they look through it, it was empty on the other side, there's nothing. Nobody there, it's just dead. And we haven't even seen any, like, for example, if you go to last episode, did you see any of the infected roaming around them? Frank, no, you didn't. The only people that you actually seen ever get near that fence in the 20 years that he was apparently there was a couple of people that was, you know, venturing out and trying to find resources. You know what I'm saying? So, like, my only negative is that we don't utilise the clickers / obviously the infected enough. And although it's entertaining and I'm really enjoying the storyline and the progression that these are making, do you know what I mean? Like, when you look at that episode with Tess, and obviously when they was first introduced and the noises, you know, that was really exciting. And do you know what? Is it called, I feel like it's called a buzzard, but it's not. There's a big, massive one that has like loads of gas, and I feel like that might have been it here. You know, like Kathleen was kind of looking at underneath the floor. That could potentially be one that comes in next episode, because I do feel like we need a bit of action. We had a little bit of a fight scene there, it was good, you know what I mean? We needed that. Again, it's kind of like 2 episodes of slow and steady, do you know what I mean? Slow and steady does win the race, but you've got to have a bit of build up in the middle, and that fight was needed. It's interesting that Ellie said that, you know, it's not the first time she shot and hurt somebody, but she didn't want to tell Joel the story so far, do you know what I mean? It seemed like she was upset. I don't think she knows that Joel's got a kid, or had a kid as well, which will be interesting to see how they react once it's been revealed. But their relationship's progressing, I'm enjoying it, and they do have some good banter together. Okay, and that's going to wrap up today's episode. Thanks so much for checking out the channel today. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. So here we are 4 episodes in, completed. You could kind of say it was halfway. There's 9 episodes, so technically halfway through the next episode is halfway through, but regardless however you all look at it, do you know what I mean? Like, we're pretty much getting there, and you know, I think that we started off the season, I would give it like, you know, 9.2 or something like that, 9, do you know what I mean, in terms of ratings. And I think after 4 episodes, I would say it's probably about an 8.5-ish so far. I think like the last 2 episodes have not been as good as the first 2, if I'm being totally honest. I understand why they've done that, because obviously not every episode can be amazing, and what they've got to do is they've got to put like the best ones at the start to get people into the show, and then you can put a couple of them in there and then pick it up towards the back end, and obviously finish with the best episode, hopefully. You know what I mean? Usually the finales are the best ones, but the interesting thing is, you know, I do feel like the last 2 episodes have been pretty slow. I'm not gonna lie. You know, if you take this whole episode, which I think this was shorter than most of them, maybe like 45 minutes long, I bet about 20 minutes of the episode was either driving, sat there, fire burning, walking stairs, shining the torches, walking about. Not really much going on. Do you know what I mean? Like, I do like the fact that it was like a pretty much road trip with Ellie and Joel, and their bonding. You could see they was getting better as you worked through the episode. And we did get an action scene, which obviously I do feel like was needed. You know, a couple of fights here and there. Joel coming out on top. Ellie shooting somebody, showing that she had the gun the first time. Joel not really angry with her. It had to be done because he was nearly dying. You know what I mean? We've seen the introduction of Kathleen, and obviously them going around trying to find Henry and this kid. And obviously they've gone into this building. They've seen like the ground or the rubble underneath moving. moving, so I feel like there's obviously something there. And then obviously they're trying to escape, get to the, you know, top of the building, scope out the city, and then move on. Like I said, they're still on the way to Tom and they've lost the car now, so they've got to do it on foot, which is going to be much slower, which hopefully is going to be adding, like, it might be slower for them moving forward, but better for us because they'll be encountering more action. Do you know what I mean? More people, more obviously infected, and you know, that'll be the chaos along the way. Yes, we've got the story from A, that's Ellie, let's take her to B. Do you know what I'm saying? But like in the middle, it's got to be chaos. It can't just be all driving and all just like, you know what I mean, story bonding and do you know what I mean? It needs to be a bit of a fast-paced chaos, you know, whether it's running away from infected, whether it's fighting other humans, you know what I mean? If it's like trying to survive, get out of buildings, run, jump off one rooftop to the other, do you know what I mean? Just either stealing cars and just zooming off. It just needs to have a little bit more than that. You know what I'm saying? Because like we are technically, like I said, about to move to halfway point. And, you know, like the main premise of the show is obviously all about the infected. That's the whole thing. The show started with an infection, and that is the reason why they're in this current state in the world. We've had one episode out of the 4 where we've actually visually seen them, and I feel like it needs to be used more. I was mentioning it a second ago, whether it's just walking around the city, whether it's just attacking a few people here and there in the background, do you know what I mean? Whether it's just seeing them and panicking and running away. Like, we need to see that they're there. Even when he was in the woods, we didn't see any of them. Like I said last episode, none of them. And, you know, I know that they have to build, obviously, characters. They have to, obviously, get you into the show and, obviously, understand who Fedra are, understand who the Fireflies are, try and get, you know, understand Tommy's situation with his brother and stuff like that and where Ellie's come from. But also, you have to have that thing that, why is the show happening? Because of the infected. Why is everybody infected? Obviously because of the disease. What does the disease do? Well, it turns them all crazy and it attacks the humans that are left. And we need to just have a little bit more of that. So that's my only downside of it. I do think it's good so far. I wouldn't say we've had a bad episode. I'd just say the last 2 have been slower and not as good as the first. But like I said, mate, you know, we're kind of halfway through now, only just getting there. So there's plenty to come. If the rest of the season, you know, carries on the way the first 2 went, then amazing. You know, we're going to have an amazing first season. And I really, really am interested to see what they do with the second. But obviously, we won't discuss that until we get there. Thanks for checking out today's episode. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. If you did, please smash like, really helps out. Subscribe if you're new. And as always, I'll catch you in the next one. Cheers, guys.